Hello? Hello? Can anyone respond
Hello,
from
Doctor.
Webex?
Uh,
Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, everyone can hear me, yeah? Okay. Okay. All right. So Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good afternoon to all participants from Webex. We have 29 of you, and also here with me in this class, we have three. So because our session is hybrid, all right, so I have to address the WebEx participant and you all as well. So I know Yindi, right? So Yindi, all right. How about you, sir? What is your name? Fong? Wang, okay. All right. Sana? Omar, okay, all right. Okay, good. So we have three students here in the room, and we have 29 in the WebEx. So hello everyone, welcome to this sessions. Okay, this session is basically continuous session from last week. So last week the formulations of problem. I hope that you really, get very good knowledge from that sessions. So for today's sessions, I'm going to cover on research approach and design. Yeah. So research approach and design is, second most important topic. Yeah, after the formulation of problems. Huh? So, but before that, so let me go next. Okay. So my presentations, my talk will be divided into four. All right. The first one is introductions. So in here, I will talk about in general, what is research. Yeah. So and then I will connect that with research process. So how you going from doing research and then coming to research approach and the category of research approaches. Yeah. So after that, I will focus on research design. Okay. This is the very important one that we want to cover today. So we will go into three types of research design, mainly quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method, right? We will see these approaches, yeah, these three approaches. And then we'll go to the element, yeah, of good research design. So more into best practice, okay? What do and don'ts, all right? So basically, I also highlight few, not mistakes, maybe not best practice, yeah, when student preparing their proposal. All right. And then we will look some other case activities. Yeah. Okay. This case activity I will share with you with permission. Yeah. So from a real PhD proposal. So we will look into what is the research approach and what is the research design from the written, from the chapter 3 written. So when you see this kind of written, so is this clear? All right. When we read it, can we understand what is the approaches? Okay, what are the designs? Okay, so we will look this, and hopefully you all will get some input, yeah, from the sessions, and then you can complete your proposal. Yeah, if you are already completed your proposal, or you have presented your proposal, and maybe this is just a revision session for you. Yeah, so if you are doing your proposal, I hope that this presentation will help you. Okay, so in here we have a lot of students. So I see some of you have already uh, present their proposal. Some of you are new, right? Okay. Nevertheless, we will start now. Okay. So what is research? So this is the main key, all right, for today presentation. Research, because we're doing research and you come into the topic of research approach. Okay. So this is mainly like the core of chapter, all right, in your research. For we look deeper, okay. So research is basically a systematic process. Okay, what do I mean by systematic process? They have flow, they have logics, they have uh, steps, right? You cannot just uh, put everything in everything that you do, put into one document and you say that this is research. No, research must have flow, and that flow must be logic and coherent, and you need also to put some very justification, real justification on that note. Yeah. Okay, I already record the meeting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So research also must have objective. I think this is already been covered last session, right? And then it must be organized, right? So we start with introductions and then we move into chapter 2 and then chapter 3. Okay, this is chapter 3, yeah? Research approach is mainly in chapter 3, right? And it also must have issue, must have problem, okay, that need a solution. So I think last session have addressed this, yeah? So how you can get the problem, how you can formulate the problem, the important formulating research problem, that is very, very important. From that problem, you need to devise, you need to develop your solutions, okay? Okay, where your solution is here in chapter 3, yeah? So overall, the overall is a process. If I can put it in diagram, it will be like this, yeah? So we start with identify the problem, okay? And then we evaluate the literature. So identify the problem in the chapter 1, okay? After you have identified the problem, that problem worth doing, you need to make sure that problem is worth doing, and then from then you will evaluate the literature. Okay, you will do some early work. Okay, here in chapter 2, and then after that you will create hypothesis, and you go to here research design, right? So research design is a part where you have done the previous steps, okay, before you move to next steps, okay, which is describe populations, you do the data collections, data analysis, and last you do the report and present, yeah, viva. So what is research approach? So in lay term, it's basically a part of research methodology, yeah, chapter 3. And chapter 3 is not simply a recipe, meaning that when you want to cook, okay, you need to have recipe, okay? So you have all the ingredient and then you cook. So basically research methodology is chapter 3 that you need to cook, but the cook is not a simple recipe, yeah? So what you need to do, all right, you need to write in detail, meaning that you have all the ingredients, right? And then you also need have the thinking, the why, right? To justify your choice. So meaning that you, along the way, you have to make justification. You need to give reason, make sense. Okay, why you, why you consider this, why you consider that ingredient, why you consider that facts, why you consider that doing this. All right. So this is need to be right in detail. All right. So the research approach will come next. Okay, this is basically your strategy or the research strategy, that you will adopt. Okay, to guide your research, to so that you can do the research. So this we call as a research process. Research approach. So it includes your philosophical assumption. So your view, your world view. Okay, later on I will touch on this, and also the method of inquiry. Okay, how the method, the research method. Okay, why you use this method, all right? Why you collect this how you collect this data. Okay, this is all fall under method of inquiry that you use to address or to answer your research questions. Okay, this is research approach. Okay, how can we choose a research approach? All right, so first the research approach depend on your research objectives. All right, so basically your research objective can tell the reader. Okay, basically if I'm read your thesis, I know that your research is what? Okay, meaning that maybe your research is will going to testing the hypothesis, right? Or maybe you will try to give explanation what is going on, what happened, okay, what insight that I can get, all right, what guidance or maybe what element that I can get from the research that been laid out, the research that been designed, okay. So this research objective can be later on fall down into 3 categories, yeah. So it also depend on the nature of your research problem. So this is basically have been addressed as well from last session. So the nature of research problem can be exploratory, meaning that uh, it it is qualitative driven, yeah. So meaning that you look into explanation, right? You or maybe is look into establish the cause and effect relationship, which is more quantitative, number. More we look into number, rather than we look into uh, explanation. All right. Okay. So it either explanatory or cause effect. All right. So this is also depend on your data. All right. So if your data are mostly about numbers, so your research approach might be about number as well. Okay. So some approaches might require you for extensive data. You need a lot of data, or other method maybe require you more time or resources. More time meaning that you will spend a lot of time with the subject, okay, to go deeper. So this is another way, okay, how you want to select your research approach. And the fourth maybe into your philosophical orientation, meaning that what your belief, yeah. Okay, some researcher their belief, yeah, their worldview, belief into positivists, yeah. So positivists mean favoring quantitative, mean they are comfortable doing numbers, doing analysis of numbers. So that must be quantitative, yeah. Some researcher they are looking into more into words, more into meaning, more into insight. So this is more into interpretivist, yeah, interpretivist, meaning that it favoring qualitative. All right. So another one may be more to pragmatic, yeah, which is favoring mixed method. So a well-chosen research approach, yeah, should allow researcher to develop a coherent. Okay, that's why I'm saying this at early of my presentation. Research must have flow. You need to have coherent, yeah, coherent and effective, yeah, research design align with your nature and objective. Please highlight the word align. Research must align from your topic title, maybe your title have 4 keywords. That keyword must also align with your your research problem, and then your research objective, right? Okay, how you look into your literature, as well as how you're trying to solve it or approach it in your research design. So that must all be aligned. Yeah. Okay, so we will look into the categories of research approach. We have by objective, we have 3. The first one is quantitative approach, the one that I talked earlier. Okay, this is basically very straightforward. It's systematically empirical investigations of quantitative approach, properties, more into numbers, yeah, and the phenomena or their relationships, meaning that this is all about numbers, yeah. You must do some testing. Okay, so quantitative approach very powerful. Okay, if you want to test, yeah, or you want to do some verifications, okay, into certain phenomena. All right. So next is qualitative approach. Okay, this is more into understanding of human behavior, the explanations, all right, the insight, okay, the meaning, okay, of data, of what reason, okay, that behavior occur. Okay, this is all fall under qualitative approach. This will be very interesting, but will be time consuming as well. Okay, you need to take that. Hello. Okay. All right. Sorry, the microphone suddenly died. Okay. Okay. All right. So now the microphone is back. All right. Okay. The third one is the mixed method approach. Okay. This approach will use a combinations of quantitative and qualitative method for data collection and analysis. Okay. Mixed method basically when you choose this approach, your research questions must reflect the quantitative and qualitative, right? So basically, you will address both, yeah, both approach in contrast with the two previous, yeah. So quantitative, you will address quantitative only, and qualitative approach, you will address qualitative only. But for mixed method approach, you will address both. Yeah, you will address both in your research question. Your research question must show that you look into quantitative and qualitative. Yeah, you cannot say that this is mixed method, but your research question is not. All right, so that will be not aligned. So you will get, if examiner, you will get response for examiner. They will say that, okay, this is questions is not addressed. Sorry, not aligned. So you need to make a modification. Yeah. Okay, next is research design. After you have choose your research approach, all right, you need first to choose your research approach. Okay, the choice is up to you. Okay, which one you are more comfortable to. All right, if you are experienced in quantitative, so you should do the quantitative. Okay, nevertheless, if you want to make new knowledge, all right, you want to experience different approaches, you might, embark on qualitative or mixed method. Okay, the choice is up to you lah. Okay, once you have already choose the approach, then you will go to the design part. So design part is what? So research design is an essential part of scientific endeavor. So it's basically a blueprint. Okay, your plan. Okay, after you have choose your approach, then you need to lay your plan. Okay, so by laying the plan, basically you're outlining the process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting the data. All right. So the quality of research design is basically impact on how the study, okay, the result of the study, as well as the validity and the reliability of what you are doing. Yeah. So if you look here, all right. So research approved. If you look into the table, all right. So the research approach purpose is basically general. It's a general one, general philosophy, how you guide your study or how you guide your research. Research design, more into specific plan. Okay, after you choose the approach, now what is the plan? Okay, you need to show your plan, all your thinking, how you do this. All right. So, and then for research approach, the focus more into overall strategy. Okay, whether it's quantitative, qualitative, or mixed. While research design more detail. Okay, more detail. If you say quantitative approach, what is it? Okay. Okay, if you say quantitative approach, that is general. Okay, we want to go deeper. Okay, what is it? Please detail out. Okay, so in here you will pick after you have choose your strategy, your approach. Then in research design, you need to choose what type of research design. Okay, in specific approach. If your quantitative approach, the design must within the quantity, quantitative approach, right? So the scope for research approach more broad, okay, with the with intent to establish the approach to knowledge, whereas the research design more narrow, to details every step, okay, and tool you use. Okay, in here you will lay out the procedure. You will lay out how you do the analysis, how you perform the analysis. This is all with detail in here, right? Okay, so if you want to see the example, okay, for research approach, for example, if a researcher want to study the impact of new teaching method on student performance, okay, this is something that all students want to do. So if I see student research, they always want to study the impact of new teaching method or maybe technologies, on student performance. Okay, this is the research. So they need to choose the approach. If they choose quantitative approach, they must start with the hypothesis, or maybe this is question. Hypothesis more maybe for social science we don't have hypothesis. Okay, maybe they start with this question, all right? So after that, they will do the research design. And here, they might to use experimental design, because experimental design is fall under approach, quantitative approach, right? So in experimental design, we have 4 type experimental design. So you need to go deeper again. So maybe you will use experimental design, maybe and pre-experimental design. Pre-experimental design for post and for pre and post test. One group pre and post test. Okay, that is basically your research design. Okay, and then you will start, detail out. So how you going to formulate the group, what kind of intervention, okay, etc. What are the samples? So all of this will fall under after you have choose your research design. Okay, for quantitative research design, so we have descriptive, all right, we have correlational, we have experimental, the one that I just mentioned, right? So we have diagnostic, and last one we have explanatory. So what is it? Okay, what all of this? Okay, so for descriptive, it's just a normal descriptive research design. Okay, we have to One is cross-sectional design. Another one is longitudinal design. Okay. So for cross-sectional design, we have single cross-sectional and cohort study or multiple cross-sectional design. Okay. For longitudinal design, we have panel study and trend study. So basically, most social science, they might fall under longitudinal design. So you can choose, but you need to give your justification, yeah, why you choose this research design. Okay. For correlational, okay, we have a statistical assessment of relationships. So you need to look at your data. Okay, if your data is quantitative or normal, okay, if the quantitative, if not quantitative, okay, meaning that you don't have more than 2 predictor variable, so you will go into correlation analysis, yeah, correlation, yeah, R. And then if yes, you might use regression analysis. If you have more than 2, yeah, more than 2 variable, you can use regression analysis. Okay, if your data type is nominal, okay, if you have less than 2 variable, so you will go into chi-square analysis. If you have more than 2 variable, you can perform log linear analysis or logistic regressions. So this is a relation type of research design. We call as a correlational research design. For experimental design, I mentioned earlier, okay, for experimental design, we have 4 types of experimental design. So meaning that your research design, you can say experimental design, but you need also to address what type of experimental design. So maybe you are pre-experimental, yeah. What does pre mean? Mean that you just have one group, right? You don't have 2 group. If you just have one group, okay, you can choose pre-experimental, one group, pre and post test, yeah. We call as a one shot, okay. So, or one group, pre-test, post-test, okay. So if you have only one shot, you can say a pre-experimental one shot case study, or you can say pre-experimental one group, pre-test or post-test. Or you can also saying that pre-experimental static group. Okay, this is all one group, yeah. If you have, okay, I will skip through experimental because in social science we cannot do the true experimental, yeah. The true experimental only happen if you are doing scientific investigation, yeah, science, okay. Okay, in social science we always do quasi-experimental, meaning that we have 2 group, but the group are not through random, through assign. We cannot have a random group, yeah. So quasi mean that the group are not random. You will pick, you will choose the group, right? That's why we call quasi, because in normal setting, we for social science we really have problem, okay, to determine a random, okay, one. We always do quasi experimental. So in quasi experimental, we have 2 group. Okay, we can, in the 2 group we can have randomized participant. All right. So we also have Latin square and factorial design. Okay. We also can do the time series. Okay, if you do time series, I student do the time series. Okay, time series meaning that you will have the treatment or intervention by interval of time. Okay, so and then you will perform time series analysis. Yeah. Okay. Next, the diagnostic research design. Okay, here when you have diagnostic test, okay, and how you will do it. Okay, meaning that you will start with your current situation. You will screening your current situation, and then you will, formulate new screen tests, and then you apply new screen tests, and then you do the replacement diagnostic test, and also the add-on diagnostic test. Yeah, so this is all we call as a diagnostic research design, right? Okay, next is the exploratory versus explanatory research. Okay, so explanatory more into we identify the problem. Okay, whereas the explanatory research, we start by developing the research question. Okay, after you develop your research question or you formulate your research question, and then you will formulate your hypothesis. After that, you will design the methodology and collect data, analyze your data, report the result. Okay, so this is normal way of doing it. I think most of the students, you will do the explanatory path. Yeah, so where you start formulate your research question, and then you design the methodology, you collect the data, you analyze your data, and then you report the finding, etc., etc. So for explanatory, it more into the opposite way. Okay, you start identify the problem, and then you hypothesize the solution. Then you design your methodology, you collect and analyze the data, and you come up with new avenue or maybe suggestion for future research. Your suggestions must be very strong. Okay, when other people who read your suggestion can, can have an insight of new research from that suggestion. All right, so you need to be very, very careful of the last part. Okay, the last part you need to write it with, so you need to be critical on the last part, so that your last part will help the reader or the examiner, yeah, so they can have that insight, so they can see what is the new research coming from this research. All right, so if the examiner cannot see that future research, okay, meaning that you need to rewrite that section. Okay, so we move into the second approach, which is a qualitative research design. So qualitative research design, okay, what is the approach? We have ethnographic research, we do have narrative research, phenomenological research, we have case study research, and grounded theory research. Yeah, this is all fall under qualitative research approach. Yeah, so and the design. So we'll start with the explanatory nature. We do have the contextual understanding, subjectivity and reflectivity, and then purposive sampling. Okay. Qualitative always start with purposive. Okay, when you do the interpretive study or quantitative study, we always use the term of purposive sampling. Whereas for quantitative research, they will adopt or use convenience sampling. So basically, both sampling look like same, okay, look like they have same purpose, but purposive sampling is more toward qualitative, convenient sampling more towards quantitative. All right, so basically some students they use this interchangeably. There's sometimes use purposive for doing quantitative and convenience doing for qualitative. Okay, sometimes they interchangeably use. Yeah, so but for purposes sampling more into qualitative. Yeah, so then you have in-depth data collections, which is the transcript of interview. Okay, mostly interview, because qualitative into words. Yeah, you are analyzing words. Yeah, so it will be very in-depth data, and then that data will be analyzed in a way, in iterative way, right? In iterative cycle. Okay, you will repeat until there is no emerging concept, or maybe no new, okay, insight from that data. Okay. All right, now we go into a mixed method. Okay, mixed method have 6 type, yeah, of research design. When you use always student will say they will adopt mixed method. Okay, but they fail to, they fail to um, explain, they fail to write what is the research, what is the research design. Okay, meaning that what is the mixed method design that they adopt. So you need to remember, for mixed method, there are 6 type of mixed method research design. Okay, the first one we call as sequential explanatory design, where the quantitative will inform the qualitative, right? You do the quantitative because the data from the quantitative will inform you the qualitative part before you do your interpretation, before you do your triangulation, before you do your analysis for the finding, the last finding, okay? The second one is sequential exploratory design. Okay, this is where your qualitative inform quantitative, the opposite from first time. Yeah, so this is where you do the qualitative first, then you do the quantitative before you do the final interpretation. All right, next is the sequential transformative design. Okay, in here, oh, okay, sorry. Hidayah say you cannot see the. Okay, never mind. I will stop this and share again. All right, can you see now, Hidayah?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry, yeah. Okay, now is the sequential transformative design. Okay, in here you will do both. Okay, you will do both, which is the sequential explanatory and exploratory. All right, you will do the quality data analysis to inform your quantitative. You do also your quantitative data to inform your qualitative, meaning that you have both. Okay, both channel are doing together, right? The fourth is triangulation. Okay, this is very lot of you doing this. Yeah, we call as a concurrent triangulation design. This is very nowadays, because we cannot sometimes rely on one data. We cannot rely on just our quantitative data. Okay, we need also another supporting data. So mostly from the qualitative. So you can do, you analyze your qualitative data, you also analyze your quantitative data, and then you do the triangulations. So this is we call as a concurrent triangulation design. Okay. We have the fifth one. We say we call as a concurrent embedded design. This is embedded design. Yeah. So this is also interesting because this is embedded design, meaning that in your study you have something embedded in your study. Maybe you have case study embedded in your experimental, right? So your case study might be quantitative, right? So, and then, but the process is qualitative. And then from that, you make the interpretation, yeah? Or reverse, okay? Or you have concurrent transportive design, okay? Okay, the fifth is embedded. The sixth, transformative. In here, you will do your quantitative and qualitative together, all right? but you have also qualitative, okay, qualitative and quantitative afterward. So meaning that you have design that opposite. Okay, the first one quantitative and qualitative. Another one you have qualitative. In qualitative you also have quantitative. Okay, so normally number 5 and number 6. Not many people will do this because certain situation only, require this type of research. Mostly research are number 1, 2, or number 4. Okay, because they are suit with the problem. Okay, because sometimes when we want to choose the design, we need to also see our problem. All right, so that's why sometimes we will look similar type of research design. Yeah, so that's why many people adopt triangulation, many people adopt sequential explanatory. Okay, because as the nature of the problem. Okay, all right. And is there any questions first? Maybe from the chat. Do you have any question to ask before I proceed? Do you have any question here? You don't have any question? Okay, you are very good, yeah? don't don't afraid to ask question, okay? We can have, just like informal session. Okay, DDR. Okay, thank you, Saima. Okay, DDR is also a very interesting one. Okay, all right. So mostly for educational technology, okay, where we are look into the design, okay, of, okay, sorry, I need to give some context first, okay, because we have a lot of, different student here. Okay, for education technology, sometimes we are looking into design the technology, right, rather than we want to, to investigate the problem. Okay, so if you are merely interested in designing or develop technology. Okay, your focus is technology. Maybe you want to develop AI robot, or maybe AI chatbot, AI advisor. You are looking into that, all right? So you don't start with the problem. For example, student cannot speak, student have speech delay, student have problem with speaking skill. That is the issue. And then you use AI to help student, to improve their speaking. And then from the AI is the technology, and then you have choose the technology. Then what the treatment, or maybe the learning activity, and then you design your learning activity. Okay, so you focus on the problem. For DDR, you're mainly focused on the technology, development of the technology. You can do the DDR. DDR will fall under special, yeah, special chapter 3. Okay, so if you want to do the DDR, okay, you can check on the DR, okay, but I will not cover here, yeah, because I just cover here the normal the student do the research. But for DDR, if you want to especially looking into the DDR, so you might discuss with your supervisor. So and then maybe your supervisor may assist you to fit your research. Okay, Saima, can. Okay, because not all of here are same. I mean, not all students will have similar, yeah, research. Okay, maybe specific. DDR very interesting. Okay, I like student if you want to do DDR, but you need to consult your supervisor first, yeah. So that they can help you and fit DDR into your research. Okay, so we also have Rosaina. Rosaina tanya bagaimana pula dengan pendekatan campuran eksperimen tertanam. Okay, that is embedded, yeah, Zaina. Yes, you can do that. That's why I'm saying at earlier. Okay, you can have experiment. Okay, within the experiment, you have embedded case. Embedded, you have embedded lagi. Yeah, you do have embedded, maybe two embedded. Okay, first, you do the experiment. Okay, that experiment pecah into 5 group. Okay, that group is basically embedded. Okay, embedded into your experimental mode. However, okay, be careful. It will be more complex. Okay, you need to be very careful. That's why sometimes you will get response from the examiner. If you, if you present your proposal, the examiner will ask you this kind of approach might be complicated, right? Okay, so they will ask you to be very careful. Okay. Okay, Hidayah, if I'm going to investigate element AI application that can significantly contribute to betterment of skill among students, so triangulation is needed to have strong finding. Yes, definitely yes, Hidayah. So, however, it will depend on your data as well. If your data mostly quantitative, so you cannot create the qualitative data, okay? So you might only rely on your quantitative. But if from the early of your study, if you consider the qualitative data as well, your qualitative data can support you. So that's why in the proposal, you need to lay out, you need to, to write clearly. That's why when you present your proposal, the examiner will ask you to write clearly. Okay, maybe you have some missing part. Okay, so put in your proposal clearly. Yeah, if you need supporting data for your research. Okay, Hidayah. So any more questions here? Ada Omar nak tanya? Omar, okay, alright, yeah. So the embedded design, okay, the embedded design is I normally come across maybe 1 or 2 students do the embedded design, because the embedded design are quite challenging. Yeah. So if you want to do the embedded design, you need to be very careful. You need to design it clearly, so that there are not missing part of the design, because the embedded design is in the embedded and can be easily overlooked. Yeah. Okay, we do have more chat. Doctor, if the combination of pre-experimental design and fuzzy delphi, oh yes, that can also be good. Okay, that is basically okay, you need to justify which are the main approach. Is it quantitative? Okay, your fuzzy. So basically, if you do the fuzzy, uh, is the fuzzy the support part, or basically your fuzzy is the main part? Because fuzzy, basically, when you do this, you want to create a framework, right? So your framework, you need agreement. You need to agreement, then some because or you need the agreement, the validity of agreement. You do the fuzzy delphi. So basically, agreement fall under qualitative, right? However, you also have experiment. Okay, so now, okay, is it the experiment is the main part, but your framework is your minor. So if the framework is a minor, you can say that your approach is quantitative, support with qualitative data. So it's not mixed method, it's quantitative approach. If you want to say it mixed method, then you will need to choose what type of mixed method. Okay, we have 6, just choose one. All right. So you might say that it will be a sequential. All right. Or sequential explanatory design. Oh, sorry. So yeah, true. Sequential explanatory design, because you do the pre-experimental first, and then you do the fuzzy delphi second, right? So it will be fall under mixed method. but the design is sequential explanatory design. Okay, Abdullah, are you clear about that? Okay, all right. So, okay, for this part, for research approved and research design, if I am the examiner, I want the clear, because sometimes students write in chapter 3, they are not clear with their design, their approach and design. Sometimes they confuse, right? Sometimes they say that this procedure is the research design. No, eh? So research design must be very specific into the design of you want to use. Okay, this design it fall under the approach. If you go into quantity approach, there is a specific research design for quantity approach. If you adopt mixed method approach, there is a selective design for mixed method. You need to articulate it. You need to write it clearly in your chapter 3. Yeah. Okay, we look to the element of good research. Okay, Hidayah. Okay, hang on. Okay, we do have question. Okay, Hidayah. So if I'm going to do questionnaire, then doing intervention. Okay. Uh, design 5. Design 5, is it the research mixed method design? Hang on. Okay, so design 5 is basically embedded design. If you are doing the embedded design, then meaning, yes, correct. Because you do your first questionnaire is basically the quantitative part. Yes, basically you do the right way because you're doing the embedded design. Okay, okay, and then you do the intervention, but you need to have your intervention also need to consider the qualitative process. Yeah. Okay, we do have someone who raised their hands. Who raised the hand? I see.
Hello, doctor.
Oh,
That would
Sumura.
be,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
Sumaira.
Sumura.
So, yeah, so doctor, I have one question that while drafting the chapter 3,
Mm-hmm.
I think I understand by your explanation of mixed method designs that mine would also be design number 5, concurrent embedded design.
Mm-hmm.
Because as it happens, I am going with different qualitative and quantitative approaches. The first one is an intervention in which I have pretest and post tests, but
Yeah.
alongside I'm also collecting qualitative data. So when I'm writing the section on research design, I understand that my approach is mixed method. When
Yes,
I
correct.
write the research design, I need to this is my understanding. Please, you need to tell me if I should be confident or not.
Yes,
I
correct,
understand that
correct.
my research design would be concurrent embedded design, and under
Yes,
that
correct.
I'm going to give headings of experiment and point matlab, research design. Under research design, I'll write concurrent embedded design, and under that I will explain the experiment and the qualitative collection and the rest.
Yes, yes, correct. Correct.
Okay.
What you have just said just now is correct. So your research design is mixed method. Sorry, your
Okay.
research approach is mixed method. Yes,
Approach.
correct. And
Okay.
your research design is concurrent embedded design. Yes, that's correct. And then
Okay.
after that, you can explain all the quantitative part, your experimental part fall under your mixed method, your research design. Okay, so basically
All right.
you are clearly. When I listen to your explanation, you have clearly explained your research approach and design.
Okay. Okay,
Okay.
so Prof, I have another aligned question that is it correct to say that along this that triangulation is also taking place in this process?
Okay, so your design is still concurrent, but you use triangulation is not as a research design. Your triangulation is just as a method for your
Okay,
research design. All right.
understood. Yeah,
You
thank you, Prof.
cannot say that your research is triangulation. No, your research is concurrent embodied design. But for you to
Yes,
interpret both data, you need to do
yes,
triangulations.
triangulation.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
All
thank
right.
you, Prof.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I will go next element, yeah. Okay, the element of good research design. Okay, this is the best practice. So you need to have very clear objective. So basically your objective must reflect your research approach from the objective, right? We know that your objective. So mainly for education technology, you will start with design. Okay, you need to develop or to design learning activity. Okay, research objective one, this research will design learning activity. So when you start design learning activity, you might, you want to see the element, what are the element for that learning activity, and then you need to test the effectiveness of that learning activity. This is all under quantitative. When I read this, I know this is quantitative. However, if you want to formulate framework, okay, because some of you saying framework, yeah. So framework more into exploratory, yeah. So meaning that you need to explore, all right, the criteria or the element, the component or something. Okay, and then from that you need the agreement. Okay, that's all fall under fuzzy Delphi and might be qualitative or mixed method. Okay, so from that objective we can know what is this type of research approach for that research. Okay, you have, after that you need to have the appropriate methodology, okay, align with your research objective, that inform your tool, you inform the technique, the instrument, all of that, yeah. Okay, and then you need to have ethical consideration. In UTM, you can ask the faculty, okay, and maybe you can get the permission to do the research. If you do it in your country, so you need to check into the authority, right, so that they can give you permission to get your data, right? And then you must have valid and reliable measure. So what is valid and reliable measure? So this is basically fall into the tool. So the tool must be pilot testing. Okay, so meaning that you need to do pilot testing for all your instrument. Okay, if you use questionnaire, your questionnaire also must be pilot. All right. So that's why you need to. Okay, your questionnaire need to be checked by expert. Okay, so mostly more than 3 expert. Okay, better, yeah, more than 3. So maybe you can ask lecturers here in UTM, and then you can ask expert in your country, right? Okay, so the subject matter expert also can check it, your questionnaire, and also if you use test, maybe you do testing examination, or you use test, and that test also must be checked, okay, by subject matter expert. If teacher, you can ask teacher to check whether the particular question is reflect into the level of thinking, because when you want to do the high order thinking questions, all right, so who say that this question is high order thinking? So you need to check with the expert, or the subject matter expert, or teacher, or maybe the one who have experience, more than 5 year experience teaching that subject. So you can ask them, they know, okay, this question is hard, okay, this question is easy, okay, this question is middle, okay, and you record their, you get their signature, and then that will be you will put that in your appendix, in your thesis, okay, later. And then you need also to have proper sampling. Okay, make sure your sampling, you need to do your sampling. You can look into the table, or maybe you can perform such effect, all right, to get good sampling. If you do quantitative, you need to be very careful with your sampling, because why? Quantitative always trying to replicate, your findings. To replicate the findings, the sample must reflect the population. So how how you get this sample? Okay, well, the examiner will say how you get these numbers. Okay, from this population. So you need to be able to justify. Okay, maybe you do the Crazy Morgan. Okay, table. The Crazy Morgan said if the population is 1,000. Okay, so you only need 300. Okay, suddenly suddenly is echo. Okay, if the Crazy Morgan say 1,000 population, you only need 300 sample, then you can follow that. Okay, if you do the side effect say that 250 is enough, and then you can use the 250. So proper sampling is very, very important. Yeah. Okay, and then you need to have detailed data collection. You need to specify in your chapter 3, in your later on, yeah, you need to say, okay, this data is collected, what date, what time. Okay, maybe November 12th, 2020, 2024. Okay, you need to have the date, specify location, all the procedure. Okay, this is all must be in your chapter 3. Okay, where you must have that. If not, examiner will ask you to do that. Okay, you also need to have the data analysis. Okay, what analysis in your mind? Okay, or maybe you haven't performed the analysis, but you must have that. You must have that thinking in your mind. Okay, because I'm looking at relationships, yeah, cause and effect relationship. So I will do correlational tests. Okay, if I do the effective, I want to know the effect of this teaching method. So I will do t-test. So you must have that thinking in your that thinking in your mind, the test, what type of test that you will do. Okay, if you do qualitative, so you cannot avoid thematic analysis, because from your data you need to formulate the themes. So you will do the thematic analysis, or maybe for triangulation. So for triangulation, you can adopt different way to triangulate. Okay, maybe you can do data mining, for example. If you quantified something, your log data, you quantify your log data, so you do the data mining, or maybe you do the just triangulate your quantitative data and qualitative data. Okay, so maybe you will do like that, and you will all specify in the chapter 3. Okay, your data analysis plan. Okay, student will do the table. Most student will do the table. They will specify there is a question, and then the instrument, and then the analysis. So maybe research question 1, in questionnaire, and they will do descriptive, or maybe t-test. Okay, something like that. Okay, I see some question here. Okay, Abdullah asks, okay, for one group pre-experimental design where randomized sampling is not possible, okay, is it possible use convenient? Yes, 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 you need to use the convenient sampling, okay? So because for we basically for social science, we very hard to get randomized. Okay, so that's why we will do either pre-experimental if you only need one group. Okay, you need to justify that why you need one group, or if you have two group, you will do the quasi-experimental design. Yeah, meaning that you will select, okay, the student maybe in this class. In this class, the whole student will be selected, because it's very hard to get randomized class in school. Okay, the class is not randomized. Okay, the class is already there, so that's why we hard to get random. Yeah, Abdullah. Okay, Abdullah. Hello. All right. Okay. Okay. Next is adaptability. What is adaptability? Okay, adaptability mean, okay, our research will not escape, again, we will not escape any challenges. You will face challenges along the journey. So maybe your sample suddenly will not come. Okay, you expect 30 students, but only 25 or 20 comes. So how you will do that? Okay, so you have a lot of challenges. Yeah, we do not know what happened in the future. So when you do the data collection, suddenly you will get less student. For example, PKP. Yeah, COVID-19 suddenly come. Okay, you not prepare that, so you need to justify. All right, in your chapter 3. Because of that challenges, you do some adjustment. Okay, so you need to do that to maintain what rigor. Rigor is very very important. Yeah, so in research. And lastly, if you do the control variable, okay, make sure the extraneous variable, all right, to be controlled very well. What is extraneous variable? Sometimes we forget, all right, the confounding variable, the confounding effects. For example, you say this treatment A can improve the outcome, all right? You suddenly forget it's not totally a treatment A. Yeah, maybe there is another factor that affect the outcome. Okay, you forget, to identify the factor as the extraneous variable, and this can jeopardize, your findings. So you need to be, if you do experimental, make sure you know the threat. Yeah, you know how to minimize the threat. You know how to control the confounding effect. Yeah. Okay. All right. Last, because I only have 1 hour. This is already 3:30. Okay. Last, we will see the case activity. Okay. We will see this written. Written in chapter 3. Okay. Okay. This, for example, the first example. Yeah. So this part discuss the research design that will be implemented in this study. Okay, this study will apply quantitative research using pre-experimental, one group pre-test and post-test by Campbell and Stanley, 1963, as the research design. All right, that's very clear for me. All right, this study will not include any control group. All right, also very clear. Why? Because it is pre-experimental. Okay, this study also observe the effect of treatment of student scientific creativity and in-depth process of the development. Okay, so one group pre-test and post-test is chosen because see, there is a justification here. This is very very well written research approach and research design. So in here, what is the research approach from this writing? Anyone? What is the research approach? Can you tell me? It's quantitative. Yes, correct. It's a quantitative approach. Yeah. And the research design is pre-experimental, one group, pre-test and post-test. You need to clear mention here. All right. So that your chapter 1, your earlier chapter 1 is clear. All right. So what happened? Mostly your, chapter 1, chapter 3, chapter 3 is not very clear because you haven't clearly write it. All right. So next, case study 2. Yes, Sumara, you want to ask question?
Yes, thank you, Prof. So my question is again in connection with my chapter 3, which is ongoing. So, like in the example, you stated that over here the research approach is quantitative and the research design is one group pre-test, post-test. So this is pretty clear. In my case, the research approach will be mixed method and the research design will be concurrent embedded design. So in that case, I need to explain further because there is experimental and then there is interviews and
Yes.
then there is the rest. So
Correct,
there will
correct.
be subsections.
You after you mentioned that your embedded design, because when we know that embedded design can also have experimental. So don't worry.
Yes.
Don't worry. So you can further explain it in next paragraph or maybe next section.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Prof.
Okay, Rahuda nak okay, Rahuda, what is your question, Rahuda? Okay, Rauda, you are giving the answer. Okay, good. Okay, now we go to activity 2. Okay, this research, yes, betul lah, Rauda, you trying to answer the question. Okay, yes, yes. Okay, for activity 2, okay, this research adopt, okay, an exploratory sequential, yeah, mixed method approach to construct the PDC framework. Okay, which conduct the process into two stage. Qualitative data is collected and analyzing first, and then followed by quantitative data. Okay, so this is different with the first one. Okay, the first one very clearly, you know, very clearly stating that it's quantitative. So for this, what is it? This is mixed method approach, and the design is exploratory sequential mixed method. Yeah, right. So this is also clear. Yeah, for me clear. Okay, how about this? This one, is this clear or not? So this research design involve qualitative and quantitative data collection. The following figures show the step of data collection and analysis briefly. So what is this research approach? Anyone? Okay, Aimi said mixed method. Amalina said mixed method. Okay, but my response, I will put here, this is not clear. The research design is not clear. All right. So he or she can also adopt quantitative, okay, but involve qualitative and quantitative data collection together, right? Because we do not know clearly because when I see this, it is, you see, because the candidate or the student will develop, okay, will develop one intervention, okay, and then they will test the intervention, okay, and then they will have tests. They have one-to-one group interview. They have online structure. So this is all not very clear. Okay, so mine, I will say, please, my response, please clear. Okay, please clear. Please write clearly in this research design. All right. Okay, so this is example of not clear writing in research design. All right, the last one. So what is this? Okay, this is this research in China, yeah. So okay, will I said that the candidate have already mentioned the research approach, which is mixed method approach. However, the research design is not clear, because when you say that mixed method, what type of method design, right? So maybe the candidate forget, right, to mention the type of research, mixed method research design. Okay, the approach is mixed method, but the design is not here. Okay, we do not know, is it sequential, explanatory, is it embedded design? Is it triangulation design, concurrent triangulation? We do not know. All right. So what we know is basically it will have qualitative and quantitative, meaning that she will start with qualitative. If qualitative is sequential, exploratory. All right. If she start with quantitative, it will be sequential, explanatory. But still, she or he, I do not know because I forget, did not write it clear in here. All right. Is it sequential exploratory or sequential explanatory? All right. Or triangulation, or maybe triangulation as well. You are right. Okay, you are right, ma'am. Or maybe triangulation. Okay, we do not know. So, Aimi, okay, yes. The first paragraph, you need to mention clear about the approach and design. If you say that this research will use quantitative approach, that is the approach. The approach is quantitative, but we want to know what is the quantitative approach design. Okay, maybe you use pre-experimental, okay, or maybe you use quasi-experimental, okay, because both design is different. Pre-experimental involve one group, quasi-experimental involve two group. After you say that you adopt quasi-experimental design, you need to further explain the figure of two group, how you design the two group, okay. Which group will get treatment, which group will be controlled. Okay, you need to specify. Then after that, if you adopt pre-experimental group, you do not need to specify the control and the treatment group because you only use one group. Okay, Aimi? Okay, remember, please clearly explain because students sometimes they will do the same mistake over and over. Yeah. So for this session, I do hope that you know to clearly written your research approved and your research design. All right. So I think that's all. Thank you. We only have 1 hour only, for this session, and it's already 3:47. Okay. Any question? Last question before I stop the session. In the class, in the lab. Waalaikumsalam. Yeah, Dakiel.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. I have question about the AI. What is the limitation for AI to use it in lecture review chapter 2?
Oh, AI using you use AI. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. For me, all right. When you use AI, you need to be very careful that it will be low under 20% because in UTM, all the thesis or the proposal will be run in the Turnitin software. Do you know what is Turnitin?
Turnitin. You mean Turnitin?
No. The software will call Turnitin. I will spell it in the chat. Turnitin software. So the software will detect how many percent of your writing is AI based. If you have more than 20%, you are not allowed to submit the thesis. It must be below 20%. Right? So if you do your chapter 2 using AI, yes, you can do it, but please below 20%. Below 20%.
Okay, right.
Yeah, not more than that. Okay, if you more than that, you have to modify it. Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. So the slide, I will give the slide later. You will get the slide and the recording as well.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Hidayah, I will give it later after I upload the video in the YouTube, yeah? So together with the slide. Okay, so that's all. Thank you all. And we will see you again. Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doctor. Assalamualaikum.